Hi, I'm Christille Janzen, and I'm doing my emerging technology research in artificial intelligence and machine learning. I have a picture right here with my Google Nest Hub as an example, and I thought maybe I'll do this topic and give you some examples on how it works and what I think of it. Let's get started. What is AI, or artificial intelligence and machine learning? Artificial intelligence is the study of how to make machines intelligent or capable of solving problems as well as people can. At its core, machine learning is a new way of creating those problem-solving systems. Programmers manually coded computer programs to provide outputs when given a certain input. With machine learning, we teach computers to learn without having to program their own roles. Instead, we show a system several examples until it eventually starts to learn from them on its own. And so how these smart speaker works specifically, that includes artificial intelligence and machine learning, is it collects large amount of data, it puts it into a library and makes it into a pattern called an algorithm. And so when I have my Google speaker, initially when the developers are producing this item, it collects hundreds and probably even thousands and probably even millions of voices of different accents from around the world, and it collects that and put it into a library and then makes its algorithm. And so someone says tomato in an American language, on a British language, it probably call it tomato. And Google Speaker or even Amazon, if you have one, will learn that you're saying tomato even though other people speak it differently. And so I came across a news article that says the strength of AI and machine learning algorithms is their ability to make incredible accurate predictions. And so when I have my Google speaker and when I ask, hey Google, play me some Shawn Mendes song, it'll play all the songs from Shawn Mendes, whether it's his first album or second album. And so again, um, Google knows this because it collects a large amount of data and they know all about the Shawn Mendes song library. It puts it into a library and it creates a pattern called algorithm. And so if I ask Google that more, it'll learn that if I just even say, okay, Google, I'll probably just play automatically, a Shawn Mendes song if I said, okay, Google, play some songs. And so this is this technology is incredible because like before in Star Trek, like Captain Gene Luke Pickard used his voice to interact on the computer on their ship by saying computer. And so like I bet before they didn't think about like, oh, this could actually happen, but look what we are now. We have all these technology, and I guess Star Trek, some of the events from the Star Trek movie or episodes really came true, and now here we are. Like with my Google speaker, if I put the input, which is the trigger for OK Google, it'll wake up the machine and basically hear me for what I wanted to do. And so what they're able to do is to solve problem. And so if I tell Google to play me this, it'll play what I wanted. And so but before, like I have to maybe put on a CD to a CD player, and so it's time consuming. But with voice activation, which is AI powered, it make it makes things easier. So how is it used in marketing or communication? Let's divide this in consumer end part and companies end. And so let's go to the consumer end first. So with the consumer end, it gives a consumer a personalization. And so again, going back to the playlist, like let's say, like play me a Shawn Mendes song on, on Google Speaker. If I ask that, it'll give me personalization that, all these Shawn Mendes songs. And then next thing after all his own songs, maybe it'll be a collaboration songs like with Camila Cabello. And so now it's gonna be, you know, geared towards you and perfected towards you for the consumer end, because they'll know what you want, and also because based on what you've been um, asking for, like let's say Google, the artificial intelligence and machine learning gets to even know you more and gets gets you personalized stuff, right? And so let's also talk about loyalty. And so with loyalty, I could maybe say, okay Google, buy me a Christmas card in Amazon, right? And so now it'll suggest, oh, I found a Christmas tree. Now I find um Christmas lights. And so now, because you have this trend that you wanted to have a Christmas card at the beginning, now it asks you if you want other Christmassy stuff. And so again, that's going back to personalization, because now the artificial intelligence knows that you may need a holiday stuff, and so it also learns you. And so the word with artificial intelligence is, it's not necessarily say artificial, but it is becoming, artificial, because it's smart, it is capable of solving problems, as I talked about earlier. And then let's go about with the company end. So in the company end, since you're asking a consumer that, hey, you want Christmas lights, Christmas card, and Christmas tree. And so they gain a deeper understanding of their consumers. So they recommend products or services. And when they recommend more products, then they gain money, right? And so they gain money through probably sales and increase their sales margin. And in the consumer side, you wouldn't think like, oh, like it's so helpful because now it's all suggesting me, to buy holiday stuff that I never thought of. And so at the same time, in the consumer's mind, oh, that's being helpful. And then in the company's mind, we want that loyalty too, because if you're loyal to us, then that means that you would want to spend more money to that businesses. And so this can create a win-win situation for both parties, because in companies end, it's greater sales and larger margins, and then also for the customer, it's heightened satisfaction. And so really, like with artificial intelligence and machine learning, and with every day getting better and with the software updates, I mean, it could really be a game changer in the business industry, and maybe perhaps getting into all industries for jobs such as, perhaps, I don't know, like maybe a dental office, correct? So, yeah. All right, so there's definitely pros and cons in everything, especially for artificial intelligence and machine learning. So what are they? So pros, let's go to pros because it's much easier to identify. And so one of the biggest advantage of artificial intelligence and machine learning in businesses such as marketing is it's efficient and convenient. And so again, going back to, buying Christmas cards. So instead of, looking for, I don't know, half an hour for the perfect card, maybe it'll just suggest you to have the perfect card with your own voice, and it learns what you like. And it's also, again, convenient because now it seems like you don't have to go to store to buy anything. Perhaps it even delivers to your house, so you don't even have to go out anymore. So that's being efficient and convenient. And this is probably helpful for the businesses that supports, like employees like with disabilities, and then also with people that have difficulty speaking, such as if there's like English barrier or language barrier. So that really helps with the machine learning and artificial intelligence. And then also it reduced costs for the businesses, because if you think about it, like for all I could know, the Christmas card is not even coming from a store anymore. Maybe someone would just make it, for the sake of selling them, and so they don't really need as big of a storage per se. Like an entrepreneur could just, make a card into their house and just ask Google to, buy a certain product from them. And yeah, and so it reduced costs for the businesses, and perhaps maybe, like you don't need a lot of workers to work for it, um, to get your product. And so obviously there's going to be more people building, smart speakers such as Google, and artificial intelligence and their machine learning would get better. But I mean, as a business owner, perhaps you could see that it will be a reduced cost, because you probably won't need to pay a rent or pay a store that you would have your product in, as well as you won't probably need as much as people to work for you, because it's already automated. And then also again, going back for the personalization, it tailors for you. And so again, like with the Christmas card, you want a Christmas card, hey, maybe Google would suggest you want a Christmas tree with that, you want a Christmas lights with that. Oh, do you have a gift already for like your cousin or something like that? And so now I'll present this um trend that you want some Christmassy stuff, and perhaps maybe you're even Christmas shopping, and so now it tailors for you, and it learns as you ask more questions, and also as you trigger the keyword, which is for Google Home, it's okay Google, and then for Apple HomePod, it's Siri, and for Amazon Dot or Amazon Echo, it's Alexa. But then with these pros comes with cons as well. And so cons are obviously privacy and security issues and data breach. And so I have a picture here for you, and it's called cookies. So because you've agreed to use your voice to ask anything really, like such as playing music, playing Shawn Mendes music, or also buying Christmas stuff at, like, let's say Amazon. Now it tracks every single thing that you've um, asked in the Google, and also at the same time, it's kind of creepy that at the same time it knows you, and it gets better because of all those cookies that technically everybody leaves in the internet. And obviously all these smart devices won't work if there's no internet, correct? And so with cookies, now it leaves this trail of I guess identification that you want this stuff, just like you would have a history of tabs in your computer, right? It knows which ones that you've clicked, which ones you've deleted. And so yeah, it can be a massive issue, because now there's a lot of people that concern about privacy, that perhaps maybe, even if they're just sleeping, that perhaps the Google speaker might be recording and that kind of stuff. And so that really is concerning, and also at the same time creepiness too. And so I put this food for thought. It says, how does AI affect jobs? Is it pros and cons, loss creation, or both? And I put this under pros and cons because if you think about it, there's definitely pros and cons for AI. But what about like AI and jobs? And so if you think about it, with the reduced cost of businesses part in the pros, if you don't really need a worker, then who's replacing that? Perhaps the AI and machine learning, correct? But instead of, like, oh, then the machine learning and artificial intelligence, they don't support quote unquote local capital growth or workers because they're changing jobs. Well, technically, I guess it's transition. Maybe the people that would have worked for those jobs could probably perhaps, improve the artificial intelligence and machine learning. Maybe they could work for, a manufacturing company for Google that builds smart speakers. So it's not necessarily say like, oh, they're removing jobs. These computers really are removing jobs. I guess it's almost transition because now, like maybe accounting people, eventually they would have to be a software because now you can just type it in QuickBooks on your computer and that basically, like replace, let's say, one accounting person that would do all your books. And so same thing for AI. So I guess it's changing the jobs. It's not really they're reducing people. It's more like the jobs before might not exist anymore in the next decade. It will just create more jobs on a different level. So there's obviously ethical and or legal considerations of these eavesdropping speakers, right? And so I mentioned earlier that perhaps even if you don't trigger the keyword to wake the speaker up, they are really probably eavesdropping on us, listening to what we say. And so I found, I guess, many articles, I think specifically for Amazon Alexa or Amazon Echo about this problem. And so found first article from CBC, and it says an Amazon Echo, the device that houses the company's Alexa AI in the kitchen of a Farmington, New Mexico home, is at the heart of a double murder trial. And so what concerns me is because in that house they have this Amazon Echo that perhaps maybe that speaker heard everything what went down before someone else got hurt, or in case on this case I guess somebody got died and it got the recording prior or even before that happened. And also another one in Florida that, the Alexa may have witnessed the alleged Florida murder. And so, with that being the case, if something happens, such as crimes like this, smart speakers companies really are compelled to follow the rules and release recording of the proof, right? But what about, like, for me as a user that have, artificial intelligence and machine learning, such as Google Speaker? Like, yeah, there's crime that happened, but at the same time, isn't that, you know, breach? Isn't that, privacy issue that we talked about as a con? And so, like, what about my security? And so, if Amazon can just pull a file out of all my requests that I've said to the speaker, won't that be a problem? Like, there's definitely like, oh yeah, because, there's crime, then obviously Amazon would have to release, the file because it'll help on the murder case or whatever that call, which is good. But at the same time, as a different user, right, that concerns me because technically, they can just pulled off any, file from any of their products, such as the Google that has artificial intelligence and machine learning. And so I've came across this quote from the CBC article, from the first news article that I put out here. And this is a law professor that says we're going to start seeing more smart devices essentially called to court to be witnesses against their owners. And again, that's kind of creepy because now they're asking the device and perhaps asking those makers of the speaker that has artificial intelligence and machine learning to really know what really went down, and also perhaps, could get a recording of the voice of whoever was involved or the prospect murder. And so again, yeah, it is a good thing that, if something happened, that obviously they would have to pull this one out from speaker. But it just also worries me as an other user, because technically, if they have all the libraries of people that have artificial intelligence and machine learning, they can technically have everything that I'm saying, which is kind of good and bad at the same time. So, what's the future of businesses and marketing or communications with AI or machine learning? Well, I really do believe that there's going to be heavy reliance as it'll get better. And especially, let's say, a decade from now, there's probably more businesses that will incorporate artificial intelligence and machine learning to their day-to-day business operations. And so perhaps let's think of chapters, right? They have so many books. And so their books would probably have organized on where the books are going to go, and categorization as well. And so before, they would probably um have to sit on their desk and find, like the books that isn't out there. But now, like, if they can just say, okay, Google, find, a book from Twilight, or like a book of Harry Potter and that kind of stuff, and it'll tell you which maybe, shelf number is, and maybe specifically where the book is at in the store. So I could see that going forward in the future. Maybe, who knows, maybe next year it'll be already available. And so, as well as with the demographics and the products, it'll also get better on identifying who your customers are and which product would suit them. And so perhaps, let's just say a teenager level age would probably have a different taste on their fashion um, clothes as someone who are in their 40s or 50s. And so I can see this really happening quickly with artificial intelligence and machine learning, that, they'll know their demographics better and their products better because of it, and not really think about, okay, who's gonna like this product. Like, not anymore. It's AI or machine learning that's gonna do that for you. So next one would be digital marketing and online advertising with social media apps. Again, so when you leave those cookies, next thing you know, when you go to Facebook, Snapchat, or Instagram, the product that you were looking few seconds ago, it's already there, right? I've had that instances, and probably you do, where you're looking on, like, let's say this fancy shampoo that you can't afford, but yet now it's popping up in your Instagram saying that, hey, if you want to buy this product, I have this, 25% code, go to the link. And so again, because you're leaving this trail of cookies, now it wants to follow you on your social media apps, and now they're trying to market you into buying that product, because now you've allowed them to have a look on their product. And so next thing is, it maybe perhaps in the next 2 years or so, it'll read or tell the reviews of the product and their company. And so, like, let's say again, that fancy shampoo that you were looking on, right? And so what if, I said to Google that, hey, tell me about this fancy shampoo. And so perhaps, it'll get better by telling you what the reviews are, and what the complaints or good things about it, and then also what the company is about. And so again, it's just gonna get better, and it's probably heavily reliant. Before, you would probably have to read every single thing, reviews from Amazon, but now, maybe you're contemplating, or you're getting your money out before you buy this product, but yet there's this artificial intelligence and machine learning telling you, hey, maybe this product isn't good for you because so and so and so and so, or you should get this product because A, B, C, D, E, right? And so it tells you reviews of a product or a potential company. Yeah, it'll be happening really soon to do that. And again, like it gives you a reminder on your cart, like that, let's say that fancy shampoo that you were looking on, maybe you're like, I'm gonna hold it off first because I'm broke, right? And then next thing you know, it's on your social media and telling you, hey, you've looked into this product, now do you want to buy it? And so again, it reminds you if you really want this product or not, or else maybe it'll just suggest you something else. And so really it just suggests you, and I guess gets really better with the product categorization, because maybe the product isn't for you, but hey, maybe the next advertisement that you'll see is a competitor of that expensive shampoo that you were looking on, right? And so, and there's gonna be really more future business with AI, because it seems like it'll get tasks easier, especially on the business side, as well as buying stuff on the consumer side. So here are my reference from all the presentation slides that I've talked about and speak about. And yeah, thank you for listening and have a good day.